And I think, there are the people like, oh, you're a life coach. What can you teach people? But I actually think the idea of wanting to help others through their journey, because what else do we have other than our experience and who we are, is very admirable. So like, what got you into that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. So,
Yeah.
it started at a young age. Like, I think I was early 20s and I just knew that I wanted to be a life coach one day. It was just this idea that came to me. I really always loved holding space, or at that time, I just knew it as like listening to my friends and what they were going through. And not just providing space, but just like offering them reflective questions to think about and how they might like to move forward. But being a young 20s, I realized, to be a life coach, I think I need to have a little bit more life
Mhm.
experience under my belt to, pursue a career like that. And I was in consumer packaged goods marketing in Toronto. I had one of those like fantastic right out of school agency jobs that's like new and exciting. But quickly I realized that that wasn't actually for me, and that I truly did desire working with people in the
Mhm.
way of being of service to them, helping them and listening to them, being a part of their journey and
Mhm.
being able to empower them. And I ended up quitting that job and I bought a one-way ticket to Rome, Italy. And I ended
Mhm.
up like living in Rome for 3 years. I moved there by myself, not knowing anyone. I learned the language. My YouTube channel kind of blew up. I published 3 books in that time,
Mhm.
and like my career really took off. So it gave me the ability to live on my own in a foreign country and really establish myself in a new way and understand like, oh, I don't actually need to rely on the 9 to 5. I can
Mhm.
actually pursue what I want to pursue. And so
Nice.
I did the YouTube and writing thing for a few years, and actually living in a different country, I learned a lot about myself. And then I realized, okay, now that I have this time, space, freedom, like what is it that I truly want to do? How do I truly want to be of service in this world? And it was life coaching was always there. So, and at that time I'd been working with a coach myself. I had dabbled
Mhm.
in all sorts of different self-improvement
Nice.
conferences and things like that. And so I flew back to Toronto for 2 years and I committed myself to becoming fully certified as
Nice.
a professional life coach through the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. So, I mean, just to round that story up, it was something that was always inside of me that wanted to come out, but I felt like I had a little bit more of my journey and getting to know myself to pursue first before I would step into that career. And it ended up being divine timing because now I feel like I have more skills than ever to really help people follow their dreams, follow their passions, and heal their past in different ways.
Nice. That's awesome. And I think more often than not, I feel like we know what we want to do for the rest of our lives, and then we just kind of put it off because for whatever reason we don't think it's realistic, or we don't want to tap into it because I don't know. You're told that it's not going to make you enough money, and like, what is enough money? What does that mean? Money, you can make money however you want if you really put your mind to it and put in the work, right? So I will ask, when you said you didn't feel like you had enough life experience, I'll ask you this because I remember I was talking to a comedian and we were trying to like write jokes, and I kind of told him like, oh, well, I've never done these things because they don't interest me. And he's like, oh, dude, you should just go for the sake of knowing what it's like. And then you can kind of diversify your writing a bit. So when you say life experience, what does life experience mean in terms of becoming a life coach? Like, does that mean you fucking just do everything, or you go hard into being a life coach and work for free all the time? Like, what does that look like to you? And how do you see that coming to form for other people as well?
Yeah, another great question. I felt like it was more of an intuitive thing. I knew that
Mm-hmm.
there were, let's say, aspects of my past that I hadn't fully healed or actually even looked at yet, which I knew that in order to become a life coach or to be of service in this way, to be in that field of work, you actually have to gut yourself a little bit to hold space for other people, right? And by gutting yourself a little bit, I mean like there's actually years of work that goes into becoming professionally certified and being a coach that is fit for service in this way. So for me, I knew that, this big dream that I had that was always at the back burner of just moving to Italy and making it happen and living there for at least 1 year was something that I actually had to acknowledge first. So it was a little bit of the past that needed to be healed, and also this spark of the future of really going for it in some way. I really had to go for it in some way. And I see it now as being able to inspire people and empower people to do that for themselves in their own life, whatever that might look like, whether it is starting the business, whether it is going for the relationship or asking someone out. Like, it can be the smallest things, but you have to be that person with that go-getter energy. You have to prove to yourself that you can make it happen in order to hold space and empower people to do the same.